Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. It is Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve. I wanted to jump on here real quick. Been a busy day. Wanted to jump in here real quick to discuss what is going on in D.C. A lot of you guys have watched the news. You guys have seen what's been going on in D.C., the craziness. 2 National Guard members that have been shot. Critically injured. The last update that I had seen is they are in surgery right now. We're praying for their safety. We hope that they survive this attempt that was taken. We're living in a country right now where you have democratic political figures that are telling people to disobey the military if they feel like there's a law that is being broke, which is absolutely insane. They are literally putting other military members' lives in danger by their words that they are saying. So, real life scenario, you're in battle, and then one of your fellow military team members decides he doesn't want to engage in a fight, and he decides that he's not going to engage, and it could end up costing other military members their lives. This is an absolute... I'm trying not to cuss. I really am trying not to cuss. It is the most disgusting thing that I have seen yet coming out of any political figures. For them to sit there and say that if you feel like they're breaking a law that you don't have to do something is absolute bullshit. These people on the left have no freaking moral compass whatsoever. They know what they said, they know what they were doing, and for them to give their little coward-ass bullshit answers that they gave afterwards when they realized that they effed up is absolute bullshit. I'm sorry, they are traitors to this country. They are traitors to the servicemen and women that bust their ass to keep this country what it is, and they deserve all legal ramifications that come about it. So now we have 2 National Guard members who were shot in the head today. And they are fighting for their lives in a hospital. While a lot of us are getting ready to celebrate Thanksgiving with our loved ones tomorrow, we'll be sitting down at dinners. These people's families are going to be spent in a hospital praying to God that their loved ones don't die because of the stupid, violent rhetoric that's coming out of the left every freaking day of the week. And it's got to stop. You don't see conservatives going out there inciting violence like this. So I wanted to give you guys an update. Hold on. Some of the things that I've been seeing that have been coming out of on X. I've been sitting there. This came from Bill Melugin. Per multiple federal law enforcement sources, the suspect in custody for the shooting of the 2 National Guard soldiers in D.C. is an Afghan national who entered the U.S. on 9/8/2021 as part of Biden administration's Operation Allies welcome in the aftermath of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. I am told his permission to be in the United States expired in September of this year, and he is now in the country illegally. This is coming from Bill Melugin right now from off of X. So the crappy Afghan withdrawal that was under the Biden administration, a total collapse and a total failure, where you had people hanging on to landing gear wanting to get out of the country because we were so stupid to exit a country the way that they did, and we left billions of dollars worth of military equipment. And now we have a gentleman that is supposedly part of an operation to bring Operation Welcome. Oh my gosh. It's just, this comes from, this is another thing I saw on X. It comes from Julio Rosas. Source in D.C. tells me the National Guardsman shooting suspect is an Afghan national who used a revolver. A National Guardman who was not armed with a firearm used a pocket knife to stab the suspect. Another gunman responded to the gunfire and shot the suspect multiple times. The suspect reportedly shouted, "Allah Akbar." Where have we heard these terms before? I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. As horrible as 9/11 was, as horrible as the imagery that we've seen on 9/11 of the planes crashing into buildings in New York City, of planes crashing into the Pentagon, of planes nosediving into Pennsylvania, as horrible as those images are, we haven't learned jack shit. We forgot all about that. Most Americans don't even think twice about it. And here, under the previous administration, we let tens of millions of illegal immigrants into this country that we don't know who they are, where they come from, what their purpose is in the United States, what their backgrounds are, because we just let them in. It's been documented. Josh documented it. Lots of other people have documented it. I documented it. We're just setting up for a 9/11 that's going to probably, another 9/11 that's probably going to be 10 times worse, because we have dropped our guard as a country. We have dropped our guard. We have let these people in, and it's all of our fault, because of the people that we elect into our leadership roles in this country. Let's see. I wouldn't doubt it if he did shout free Palestine. I really don't. We got Thanksgiving tomorrow, and not to scare anybody, but if I was going out shopping on Black Friday, I don't think I'd go. I don't think I would go one bit. If I did go, I would make sure that I was protected. If you are going to go out shopping on Black Friday, you better have your head on a swivel. You better be looking. You need to look. You need to see what your surroundings are. You need to see an exit strategy, because something is telling me that there is something lying in the waiting. Something is lying in the waiting, and the Democrats are just chomping at the bit for it to happen. They want it to happen so bad that they're giddy over it. They want a 9/11 to happen under Donald Trump. This is what they want. This is what they dream about, the death of Americans to gain their political power, because they have lost their power. And they want that power back so bad. And they're willing to do anything to get it. Anything. And they lie. You got people like Jasmine Crockett, who sat there and tried to put Lee Zeldin under the bus by saying that Jeffrey Epstein freaking donated to his political party or to his political campaign without knowing the facts. And then she tries to turn around and think that we're so damn stupid that she's going to sit there and turn around and say, oh, I didn't mean that, Jeffrey Epstein. What the hell you didn't? We aren't that dumb. And I'm sorry, I don't think Democrats are that dumb. They might be, but I don't think they are. This sickens me what happens today. What happened today really pissed me off. It pisses me off because you have news stations like MSNBC who are sitting there putting out statements saying that, well, if Trump wouldn't have brought the National Guard in, and, you know, when you bring National Guards into cities and they start sitting there, they're walking around in uniforms, that something bad may happen. Something bad may happen. Something bad did happen. And it's sickening and it's disgusting, and there's no place for it in our country. I don't care what side are you on. I'm not even, would never wish that upon any Democrat or any progressive or any liberal, whatever you want to call them. I wouldn't wish death on anybody. And it's just absolutely mind-blowing that the other side does this day in and day out. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow we give thanks for what we do have in this country. And it's going to be overshadowed now because of the act of a coward. And you know, the funny thing about when I was listening to this, and it's not funny, is that when I read this statement that a National Guard had to use a pocket knife to subdue somebody because the optics of a National Guard member with a rifle or a handgun is going to hurt some feathers of some liberal people out there because they see a National Guard member with a rifle. That's what's going to bother you. It doesn't bother you about a man pouring gasoline on a young lady in a subway train and catching her on fire. It doesn't bother you. The man was arrested over 70 times, and he poured gasoline on a young lady and caught her on fire. And a judge says we can't jail everybody? The hell you can't. It's simple. You put their ass in jail and say, you are not coming out. You have been arrested. You think after 20 times that'd have been enough. 30 times, definitely enough. 40 times, nope, we're still not there. 50 times, nope, we're still not there. 60 times, nope, we're still not there. 70 times, nope, we just don't have the space. And then he took his ankle monitor off and didn't even report in for his probation. And he stopped responding to phone calls from his probation officers. And look what he did. He had a young lady on a subway coming home from work, got stabbed in the neck by a crazed lunatic. And then you had people sitting around watching as the girl bled out. We got young ladies in this country that are getting sexually assaulted by people that shouldn't be in this country. And we treat the people that do it as if they're some kind of martyr for justice. But yet they can go around and do things to other people, and we're just supposed to look past it. Where are we at, America? Where are we at? Where's our mind at? You know, a lot of people, they'll make light of that we need to have God back in the country. I'm not making light of it. We need God back in this country. We need good Christian morals. I don't care if you're Jewish, Catholic, Protestant. I don't care what religion you are. We need good Christian morals back in this country. That's what this country was founded on. That's what people fought in a war over, was for Christian values, because they were being persecuted. We have people in Nigeria that are being murdered for being Christians. And you don't hear nothing on the left about it. You don't hear nothing about the slaughter that's going on in these other countries that they're doing to Christians. You know, I had a t-shirt one time that said Christianity is not a crime, and then it said in parentheses, yet. I think it's coming. If we don't take back our country, it's coming where Christianity will be a crime. Where something as simple as a Bible will put your ass in prison because of what you believe. That's where we're coming to. Well, there'll be a time when you won't be able to go to a bookstore and buy one of these. You won't be able to go on to Amazon and buy one of these. That's what we're coming to, where this is a crime. But stabbing someone in the neck, catching somebody on fire, sexually assaulting somebody, letting robberies happen all over the country, people being terrorized by other people, National Guard members being shot in the head, political figures like Charlie being shot in the neck, assassination attempts against a political figure, politicians saying that if you're in the military and you feel like you're breaking the law, that you can go against your orders that could cost other military members their lives, all for the sake of winning points, all for the sake of regaining power. And what do they do for the people? They don't do nothing for the people. The only time you see a Democrat that wants to do anything for minorities and other things is when election time comes around. Then they go around, they kiss the feet just to get your vote. That's what the whole immigration thing was. Replacement votes. It was replacement voters. Because they knew that people that came into this country seen past all the smoke and mirrors, and that's what it's been. It's been all smoke and mirrors. They haven't done anything for these people. They say that we're fascist, that we're Nazis. I'm not a fascist, I'm not a Nazi. I'm not entitled. I go to work every day, I work my butt off, pay my bills. If I can't afford something, I can't afford it. I'm not going to ask the government to pay for it for me. But if you're on the fence on the Democrat side, you have to ask yourself, what has the Democrats really done for you? They beat you down. They keep you on welfare. Make you seem like you can't do anything without the government. But you can. You got to work for it. But as a country, we're lazy as hell. We got a bunch of lazy-ass people in this country that do nothing but want to sit around and collect a paycheck and not earn it. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've worked since I was 13 years old. Started bagging groceries at 13 because my parents got divorced and my dad didn't pay child support, so I went and I got a job bagging groceries, even though I wasn't old enough. Actually, I was 14. I've worked every day since. Always had a job. If you want a job, there's jobs out there for you to get. But you have to ask yourself, what are Democrats doing for you? Nothing. They're not doing nothing. Do I think all Republicans are great? No, I don't think that every Republican congressman or senator or whatever, I don't think they're all great. I think there's a bunch of rhinos out there. I still think there's a bunch of them that are wanting to hold on to power. We're in a scary time, and I'm not trying to scare the subscribers that watch this channel. There's a lot of good that's going to come out of the holiday season, but I know that if I was to go out on Black Friday, I would definitely keep my head on a swivel. I would be looking around because there's going to be a coordinated attack. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when and where. When and where. And I hope to God it doesn't happen. I hope to God that President Trump can, and Kash Patel and all these other people and Pete Hegseth and all of them can thwart any kind of violence to the United States. Yeah, exactly. Voter ID law. What's so wrong with making sure you have an ID to go vote? What is so wrong? You have to have an ID for everything. Go cash a check, you got to have an ID. Go buy liquor, you got to have an ID. Go to buy a car, you got to have ID. Everybody can get an ID. And there's no reason you can't. And I'm a proud supporter of elections should be one day only. Vote in person. I think it needs to be paper ballot. If you're handicapped or something like that, then I understand that. But I say make it a national holiday to where, because that decision is so important. But I wanted to get on here because I just couldn't believe what was out there on when I was watching it. And I seen what Bill Melugin and some of these other people were posting and about it, and it sickens me what I'm seeing out there. Yep, he was a 29-year-old shooter known as, this is from Raw's alert 46 minutes ago on X. 29-year-old shooter known as Ramanala Lakanawa, an Afghan national who shot 2 National Guard members, is reported to have entered the United States under the Biden administration's Welcome program. How many more are in here? How many more are in here, Joe Biden? How many more of these people did you let in, Joe Biden? How many more people went through NGOs, weren't vetted, taken to an airport, gone through, bypassed TSA security, got put on an airplane and were sent all over the country? How many more? 10 million? 15 million? How many more, Joe Biden? You let this guy in. Was he not vetted? Sickening. Absolutely sickening. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to jump on here, give you guys a little bit of update of what's going on. Tomorrow, when y'all are sitting around having dinner, be thankful that your family's there. I know all of our family's going to be here. It's going to be a full house, and you know, hug your family members a little bit more. And if you are going out on Friday, please be careful. Please pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure you look who's parking by you. Make sure you look. If you see something, say something, please. Doesn't matter. If you see something, say something. If something don't look right, and I don't know what it is with women, but they got this weird intuition, and my wife has it, and 95% of the time she's right about it, and I have to sit there and tell her that she's right about it. But guys, if your wife's like, hey, I'm not feeling this right now, listen to your wife. That 55-inch TV for $200 will be there another time. But anyways, guys, I'm off. I'm going to get some sleep. I got to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to put a turkey on the smoker. So you all have a great evening. Say a prayer for these 2 National Guardsmen that they pull through this. Pray for the doctors that are operating on them. Pray for our country and our leaders. And even pray for these Democrat people that are saying all these vile and disgusting things. So y'all have a great evening. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.